Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare Hare
Ram
Ram Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्णा. Hare Krishna everyone. So today is 28th of October. It is a Saturday. And it is Ashwini Masa or Padmanabha Masa. Sukla Paksham and Paurnimi Tithi. So there are a few events today. So first one is lamp offering begins for Kartik month. So today starting from this Paurnimi to the next Kartik Paurnimi. So lamp offerings will be continuously being done by the devotees. And another event is Shri Krishna Saradiya Rasa Yatra. So that's why Krishna is always in these white dresses. All Krishna, Radharani, and all the Ashtasakis and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Everyone are in the white dresses. It is a very beautiful pastime. And once again, this is manifestations of Goloka Vrindavana, and it is manifested on the earth. And another one is the Lakshmi Puja. And one more event is disappearance day of Sri Murari Gupta. And another one is 4th month of Chaturya Masa. Chaturmasa begins from fast from Urad Dal for 1 month. So this is the 4th month who are all observing the Chaturmasya. So there are a few lines about Murari Gupta, who is the 21st branch of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's. So Murari Gupta, the 21st branch of the tree of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as a storehouse of love of Godhead. His great humility and meekness melted the heart of Lord Chaitanya. Sri Murari Gupta wrote a book called Sri Chaitanya Charita. He belonged to a Vaidya physician family of Sri Hatta, the paternal home of Lord Chaitanya, and later became a resident of Navadvipa. He was among the elders of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya exhibited his Varaha form in the house of Murari Gupta, as described in the Chaitanya Bhagavata, Madhya Leela, 3rd chapter. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited his Mahaprakasha form, he appeared before Murari Gupta as a Lord Ramachandra. And when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu were sitting together in the house of Srivasa Thakura, Murari Gupta first offered his respects to Lord Chaitanya and to Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu, however, was elder than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and therefore Lord Chaitanya remarked that Murari Gupta had violated social etiquette, for he should have first shown respect to Nityananda Prabhu and then to him. In this way, by the grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Murari Gupta was informed about the position of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. And the next day, he offered obeisances first to Lord Nityananda and then to Lord Chaitanya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave chud pan or betel nut to Murari Gupta. Once Sivananda Sena offered food to Lord Chaitanya that had been cooked with excessive ghee. And the next day, Lord became sick and went to Murari Gupta for treatment. Lord Chaitanya accepted some water from the water pot of Murari Gupta, and thus he was cured. The natural remedy for indigestion is to drink a little water. And since Murari Gupta was a physician, he gave the Lord some drinking water and cured him. So there are few other pastimes. about Murari Gupta. Srila Murari Gupta never accepted charity from friends, nor did he accept money from anyone. He practiced as a physician and maintained his family with his earnings. And Murari Gupta treated his patients by his mercy, both their bodily and spiritual diseases subsided. One day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt the ecstasy of the boar incarnation and got up on the shoulders of Murari Gupta. Thus, they both danced in Murari Gupta's courtyard. So, one day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to cry out, Sokara, Sokara, thus crying out for the boar incarnation of the Lord. He assumed his form as the boar incarnation and got up on the shoulders of Murari Gupta. He carried a small gadu, a small water pot with a nozzle, and thus he symbolically picked up the earth from the depths of the ocean, for this is the pastime of Lord Varaha. So that is mentioned by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 17.20 purport. Sri Murari Gupta, in all humility, in his Chaitanya Mangala presentation of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, first begs for the blessings of all Mahabhagavatas, then saying that then I can properly sing the glories of the Lord. I am the lowest of the low, so how can I explain the greatness of Sri Chaitanya's transcendental character, since I don't know anything? What is the use of my incoherent words if without knowing the highest truths about Lord Chaitanya, I try to say something? I will suffer embarrassment before the great souls. Although I am not qualified and full of faults, I cherish an intense desire to sing about the sweet qualities of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. While living in Navadvip, Sri Murari Gupta had the opportunity to remain always in the company of Gaurachandra, who can describe his greatness. He is known throughout the world as Hanuman. After crossing the ocean to Lanka, Hanuman burned Ravana's palace to the ground. Then Hanuman brought Rama the good news about his beloved Sita. He revived Lakshmana by bringing Vishalyakarani, a medical herb. That same Hanuman now resides in Nadia as Murari Gupta. Being highly realized, Murari Gupta knows all truths. As an eternal associate of the Lord, he is fixed at the lotus feet of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. He expertly told all of Chaitanya's childhood and boyhood pastimes in his great Sanskrit epic, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Charita Mahakavya, also called Karcha or diary. It is mentioned in the Chaitanya Mangala 1994 Mahanidhi Swami, page 4. Murari Gupta begged Lord Chaitanya to please be merciful, please give me ecstatic love of God. Lord Gauranga said, listen Murari, you have love for me, so just serve the Parabrahman, appearing in the human form, having the color of an Indranila gem, blue sapphire. He stands most attractively in his three-folded bending form, carrying a flute in his hand, worship Radharani, the golden complexed daughter of King Rishabhanu. She is the original energy of the Lord, and her effulgence defeats the color of Gorochana, bright yellow. Engage yourself in the service of the gopis, and you will attain the son of Nanda. In Chintamani Bhumi, Vrindavanadham, he sits on a jeweled throne, resting upon a gem-studded platform surrounded by Kalparuksha trees. By his inconceivable potency, Kamadhenus or Surabhi cows wander everywhere, fulfilling all desires. His glittering bodily effulgence is known as the formless Brahman. You should know that this is the sweet truth about Krishna. The devotees felt transcendental joy to hear this talk from Lord Gauranga. In a mood of submission, Murari Gupta requested, my Lord, I want to see the Lord's form as Raghunatha or Lord Ramachandra. Within a second, Murari saw Lord Ramachandra in his beautiful body, the color of fresh green grass, Sita Devi, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna stood around the Lord. Murari rolled on the ground in astonishment. Gaurachandra pacified him with the touch of his lotus hand while blessing him. May you become saturated in love of God. Actually, Murari, you are no one other than Hanuman, and I am the same Lord Rama. After saying this, the Lord entered the temple. It is in the Chaitanya Mangala, Lochana Das Thakuras, and Mahanidhi Swami, 1994, page 134. So once Lord Chaitanya asked Murari Gupta to recite some verses he had composed. For my pleasure, please recite that verse you have composed. Murari Gupta cited his book Sri Krishna Chaitanya Charita. I worship the blessed Lord and Master of the three worlds, Sri Ramachandra. He wears a brilliant crown covered with a strand of jewels whose shining lights up all directions. His dazzling earrings defeat the brilliance of Sukra and Bruhaspati. His beautiful face looks like a pure spotless moon. So this is very beautiful pastimes of Murari Gupta. So I couldn't stop reading this. Yeah, but it is in the ISKCON Recitation, ISKCONRecitation.com. Okay, so that is from the events perspective. So we shall quickly enter into Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, so Parikshit Maharaj, he is speaking to Dharma. So he understood that it is the bull is the none other than Dharma, and he spoke about the principles of Dharma. Tapasaucham dhayahatyam iti padaha pridetaha adharmam strayo bhagnaha smayasangam adaiva madestava idanim dharma padaste satyam nivartayajyataha tam jigrukshati adharmoyam andrutena yeditaha kalihi. So now this adharma is trying to destroy even the last one leg, that is satyam. So by its expansion of Kali, how it is by andrutena, by the deceit, it is trying to destroy the truthfulness. So after saying that, Parikshit Maharaj, he is turning his attention towards the mother cow and saying that, addressing mother cow. So Mother Earth, so cow is none other than Mother Earth. So once upon a time, because of the so much of burden of the kings, and she was requesting the Supreme Personality of Godhead to reduce the burden, and Lord has appeared, and then he has completely removed that burden, and then at the time she felt so much happy when Lord walked on her with his footprints. Now she is after Lord has left, now she is keeping tears in her eyes, and just like unfortunate woman, and also because of the Brahmanas, they have taken shelter of this the Sudras who are just posing themselves as the administrators. So such kind of way, she is now lamenting. She is now lamenting because of the Sudra kings, and also degradation of the Brahminical culture. Likewise, Parikshit is saying to the Dharma, but while looking at the Mother Earth. We are in the first canto, chapter 17, and verse number 26 and 27. इयं च भूमिर्भगवता न्यासितो उरुभरा सति श्रीमद्भिः तत्पदन्यासैः सर्वतः कृतकौतुक इयं च भूमिर्भगवता. So this mother cow, इयं च भूमिर्भगवता, and on the surface of the earth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, इयं च भूमिर्भगवता न्यासिता उरुभरा सति. And the Lord has removed the burden of the earth. Urubharasati. Nyasita Urubharasati. And when she felt so much of burden by these unscrupulous kings, at that time she felt so much of burden. And the Lord has removed that burden. Srimad Tata Padanyasaihi. How he has reduced and also how he has given the pleasure to the mother is Srimad Tat Padanyasaihi. So by walking with his foot, and his footprints are fall onto this mother's surface of the earth. So Mother Earth also has spoken previously that I was very happy when the Lord was walking with his footprints. Tasyaham abja kulisha ankusha ketu ketaihi Srimat padaihi bhagavataha samalankritangi. I was so beautiful when Krishna was walking on my surface, and it's Samalankrutaangi. It was so beautiful. And now Srimad Bihi Tad Padanyasaihi Sarvataha Kruta Kautuka. Parikshit is also addressing the same statement here. She was so beautiful at that time with the footprints of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Im cha bhumir bhagavata nyasito urubhara sati Srimad-bihi tat padanyasaihi sarvataha kruta kautuka. And then further he says, Sochati asura-kalasadbhi durbhagaiva vujjita sati abrahmanya dupavyajaha sudhra bhokshanti mamiti. And then further, Parikshit says, Sochati asura-kalasadbhi. Now she is keeping tears in her eyes and lamenting. Sochati asura-kala sadbhi durbhaga eva vujjita sati. Durbhaga, as if the most unfortunate, because she was forsaken by the Lord. Vujjita sati, she was forsaken by the Lord, and the Lord has left this material world from the naked eyes. Sochati asura-kala sadbhi durbhaga eva vujjita sati abrahmanya dupavyajaha. So Brahmanya is the Brahminical culture. Abrahmanyaha is the devoid of Brahminical culture. Abrahmanya dupavyajaha. And also so-called rulers, they are posing themselves as the rulers. Actually, they are Sudra class. Abrahmanya dupavyajaha. Because of there is no Kshatriya culture, no Brahminical culture. And likewise, Sudra bhokshanti mamiti. And all these who are not Brahmins and who are not Kshatriyas, they are enjoying on my surface. Sudra bhokshanti mam iti, in this way. Likewise, Mother Earth is lamenting. So likewise, Parikshit is understanding and speaking to Dharma. Sochiti asura-kalasadbhi durbhaga iva vujjita sati abrahmanya dupavyajaha sudra bhokshanti mamiti. So translations for these verses. Iyam cha bhumir bhagavata nyasita urubhara sati Srimad-bihi tat padanyasaihi sarvataha kruta kautuka. So for that one, the burden of the earth was certainly diminished by the personality of Godhead and by others as well. When he was present as an incarnation, all good was performed because of his auspicious footprints. Sochiti asura-kalasadbhi durbhaga iva vujjita sati abrahmanya dupavyajaha sudra bhokshanti mamiti. So translation for this verse. Now she, the chaste one, being unfortunately forsaken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, laments her future with tears in her eyes, for now she is being ruled and enjoyed by lower class men who pose as rulers. And purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Kshatriya, or the man who is qualified to protect the sufferers, is meant to rule the state. Untrained lower class men or men without ambition to protect the sufferers cannot be placed on the seat of an administrator. Unfortunately, in the age of Kali, the lower class men without training occupy the post of a ruler by strength of popular votes. And instead of protecting the sufferers, such men create a situation quite intolerable for everyone. Such rulers illegally gratify themselves at the cost of all comforts of the citizens, and thus the just Mother Earth cries to see the pitiable condition of her sons, both men and animals. That is the future of the world in the age of Kali. When irreligiosity prevails most prominently, that happens. And in the absence of a suitable king to curb irreligious tendencies, educating the people systematically in the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam will clear up the hazy atmosphere of corruption, bribery, blackmail, etc. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So this is very beautiful purport given by Srila Prabhupada. So one has to be trained again and again. So we have been seeing how the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is the way of life. One has to adjust himself, mold himself to live according to Srimad Bhagavatam. Then only we will become Yad Yadacharati Sreshtaha Tat Tad Devetaro Naraha Sait Pramanam Kurite Lokaha Tad Anuvartate. Then only everyone would follow Srimad Bhagavatam. We have to be models of Srimad Bhagavatam. Live the way as it is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. So this was the same case. So previously, even couple of 30, 40 years ago, people used to live very properly and dignifiedly. They don't have much attraction towards the women. They are not intoxicated much. They were not pride. There was a pride, but little bit, but not too much. It was systematically going on. But due to this education system, there is no Bhagavad Gita is teaching in the schools, no Srimad Bhagavatam, and people are diverting the children in towards the this modern education, so-called just work hard, labor, just gratify the senses. They do not speak about the peace. They do not speak about the liberation free from the material horrible activities of this material world. They do not speak about it. Always try to engage the children. Nowadays all these schools are just like a slaughterhouses. But parents, without knowing that, parents are sending you study well, you get good marks, you get earn money. Getting earn money means more anxiety, more misery. Getting good rank means more anxiety. At the end, it cannot increase a lifespan. It could not increase the pains and pleasures which are already allocated. So likewise, pains are also there. They cannot increase those things. They are all predestined. But people are trying, just going here and there, moving their homes, going abroad. That is very horrible conditions. Not knowing that their Prabhupada always used a Bengali proverb. Wherever you go, your fate always with you. So that way, either you are in the village or in the town or a city or a different country, your fate is the same. You eat just same food and also same pains and pleasures, and then you will same lifespan. So here, this is the how that can be completely error. The influence of the age of Kali can be defeated by the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam and clear up the hazy atmosphere of corruption, bribery, and blackmail, etc. Otherwise, these politicians, it would always be the corruption only. whenever the children are given Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, that is taught, when they grow up with the values, and if they occupy the positions of these administrators, IPS, IAS, or any kinds of political positions, they would have some values to carry out the administration. Okay, so that is Prabhupada's purport is given here. So likewise, Parikshit is speaking to Dharma about the Mother Earth. Yem cha bhumir bhagavata nyasito urubhara sati श्रीमद्भिः तदपदन्यासैः सर्वतः कृतकौतुका सोचति असुरकलासाद्भिः दुर्भगा इव उज्जिता सति आब्रह्मण्यरूपव्याजाः सोद्ध्रा भोक्ष्यन्ति मामिति. That is from Srimad Bhagavatam. We shall quickly enter into Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today, letter to Tamala Krishna, October 25, 1969, Tettenhurst. Can I request any dear devotees to read this letter?
Hare Krishna, Ravji.
Yes, Mataji.
Can I read?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Please accept, my dear Tamal Krishna, please accept my blessing. I beg to acknowledge receipt of your letters dated October 17, 1969 and October 22, 1969. The letters were very long. I have read them once and shall read them again carefully. Here things are improving. We have got now practically 2 centers in London. One in a Merlinon's place and one in Sevenbury Place. We are negotiating for a big church in Oxford, and there is possibility of this coming out successful too. Beside that, I am negotiating with some local influent Indian gentlemen for the World Sankirtan Party. They have also given some hopes, and the preaching work here is also going on nicely. Yesterday we had meeting in a law college, and all boys and girls join us in chanting and dancing. But I think Mukunda is little bit strained managing all the affairs. The most important thing before us immediately is to organize a nice Sankirtan party here in London for daily work, because there is a good potency for preaching work in London as there is a Los Angeles. But I don't know if it will be possible for you to come here for some days. Mukunda likes your assistance for coordinating all these opportunities, so please consider these points. And if you think that your absence in the West Coast will not cause any mismanagement, then I will advise you for some days to come here. So I shall be glad to hear from you in this connection by written mail. I hope this meets you in a good health. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Any takeaway points, Mataji? Any important points you wanted to mention? Or any points, dear devotees, you would like to highlight in this letter?
Prabhu, one point is always stick to my mind, and Prabhupada always emphasizes Sankirtan, association of devotee, and at the same time preaching the Hare Krishna movement. So Prabhupada always says about the Sankirtan and association of the devotees. Haribol Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Any other comments? Okay, so here Prabhupada is once again here. Mukunda, he was so busy in these activities, preaching activities, and as Tamal Krishna Maharaj, so he in America at Los Angeles, he was strategically and expertisely propagating Krishna consciousness and managing very nicely. So Prabhupada was expecting that expertiseness can be replicated in the London as well, and it would assist Mukunda in a wider way to preach Krishna and establish the centers more. Okay, so that is my takeaway, utilizing the expertise. And from the announcements point of view, so today evening we have got a regular Bhagavad Gita Sangha at 7 p.m. And also with the fundraise towards the Temple of Vedic Planetarium for Lord Narasimhadev's temple. So we'll be concluding that fundraise today, and tomorrow we'll do the fun Lakshmi transfer tomorrow. That's all from me from the announcements point of view. And dear devotees, if you have got any further updates on any events or temple updates, or you wanted to share, kindly share. If there are no further updates, then we shall move on to the next part of our program, Srimad Bhagavatam and the Vaikuntha descriptions. Okay, so we have been in the second canto, chapter 9. So here Brahma is seeing the Vaikuntha planet. With his eyes, and what the Lord is seeing, how his associates are serving him. So we have seen 16 verses of Vaikuntha and how Lord was seeing here. Just to recap. So here when we comes here, Brahma has seen. So before we start here once again, we shall recite invocation prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So here, Shri Yatrupini Uragaya Padayoho Karoti Manam Bahuda Vibhuti Prenkam Sidaya Kusmaguranagaihi Vigiyamana Priyakarma Gayati. Goddess of Fortune, Mahalakshmi, sitting at the lotus feet of the Lord and massaging. At the same time, she is glorifying the Lord's pastimes. And further, Brahma says that Dadarsh Tatra Kila Sattam Patim, Sri Patim Yajnapatim Jagatpatim, Sunandananda Prabhalarpanadevihi, Swapashadagrihi Parisevitum Vibhum. And he says that the Lord of all the devotees and Goddess of Fortune, Lord of Yajnas, and Lord of the universe. He is surrounded by the Sunanda Nanda Prabala Arhana, and he is being served by all this his great Parshvadas, Parsha Agrehi, the great Parshvadas, great servants. Parisevitim Vibhum, they are serving and Lord is enjoying. And then further, how the Lord is sitting. He is Bhritti Prasadabhimukham Durgasavam. He is sitting facing towards all his servants. Prasannahasa Arunalochana Ananam. And his face is so pleasant, and Arunalochana. His eyes are reddish and his face is so beautiful. Ananam, his face is so beautiful. And he has got Kiritinam Kundalinam Chaturbhujam. He has got the helmet and he has got the earrings. Chaturbhujam, he has got the 4 hands, and Pitam Shukam Vakshasi Lakshitam Shriya, and he has got yellow garment, Pitam Shukam, yellow dress, and Vakshasi Lakshitam Shriya. On his chest there is a symbol of Shriya, the goddess of fortune. That Srivatsa symbol is there. So that is the Lord is sitting opposite to his servants. So just can I request the devotees to read this translation and purport as well?
I'll read, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
The personality of Godhead seen learning favorably towards his loving servitors. His very sight intoxicating and attractive, appeared to be very much satisfied. He had a smiling face decorated with enchanting reddish hue. He was dressed in yellow robes and wore earring and a helmet on his head. He had 4 hands, and his chest was marked with the lines of the goddess of fortune. Can I read the Parputasa Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, please. Yeah.
In the Padma Purana, Uttarakhanda, there is a full description of the Yoga Pitha, or the particular place where Lord is in audience to his eternal devotees. In that Yoga Patha, the personification of religion, knowledge, opulence, and renunciation are all stated at the lotus feet of the Lord. The 4 Vedas, namely Rig, Sama, Jyodur, Atharva, are presented there personally to advise the Lord. The 16 energies headed by Chanda are all present there. Chanda, Kanda and Kumonda are the first 2 doorkeepers. At the middle door are the doorkeepers named Bhadra and Subhadra. And at the last door are Jaya and Vijaya. There are other doorkeepers also named Kumuda, Kumudakasha, Pundariksha, Barmana, and Shankurakarana. Sarvantra, Sumukha, etc. The Lord's places is well decorated and protected by the above mentioned doorkeepers. Haribol.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So this one we have seen this Goloka chart, and this is where Lord is in the Vaikuntha, surrounded by all these Pashpadas. This we have discussed last time, and all these Chanda, Kumuda, Prachanda, and Jaya and Vijaya, Sankukarna, and also Vamana, Bhadra, Subhadra, Pundarikaksha, and Kumudaksha, Pundarika, Kumudaksha, and here Dhata, Vidhata, Sumukha. So all these are surrounded around the Vaikuntha planet. So that is, we have covered that one in the last session. And then further, the Lord is being worshipped. How? Adjarhaniyasanam astam param vrutam chatushodasa pansektibihi yuktam bhagaihi svaritratra chadruvaihi swayeva dhaman dramamanamishwaram. Adjarhaniyasanam asitam param, and he is sitting and being worshipped. Adjarhaniyasanam asitam param. Param is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And surround Vrutam Chatushodasha Panchsektibihi, surrounded by 4 and 16 and 5 energies of the Lord. Yuktam Bhagaihi Svaritaratra Chadruvaihi. Yuktam Bhagaihi, and empowered with all his opulences. Swaihi, that is by his, and Swaihi Itaratra, and also other small energies. Cha Adruvaihi, and also they are temporary. Adruvaihi. Swayeva Daman Dhamamanamishwaram, the Lord is enjoying with all his energies there. Swayeva Daman Ramamanam Ishwaram, and enjoying with all his opulences there. And also we have seen this one here. Can I request other devotee to read the translation and also purport as well?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji, please.
The Lord was seated on his throne and was surrounded by different energies like the 4, the 16, the 5, and the 6 natural occurrences, along with other insignificant energies of the temporary character. but he was the actual Supreme Lord, enjoying his own abode. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord is naturally entered with his six opulences. Specifically, he is the richest, he is the most powerful, he is the most famous, he is the most beautiful, he is the greatest in knowledge, and he is the greatest renouncer as well. And for his material creative energies, he is served by four, namely the principles of Prakriti, Purusha, Mahatattva, and Ego. He is also served by the 16, namely the five elements earth, water, air, fire, and sky, and the five perceptive sense organs, the eye, ear, nose, tongue, and skin, and the five working sense organs, the hand, the leg, the stomach, the evacuation outlet, and the genitals, and the mind. The five includes the sense objects, namely form, taste, smell, sound, and touch. All these 25 items serve the Lord in the material creation, and all of them are personally present to serve the Lord. The insignificant opulence numbering 8, the Ashtasiddhis, attained by yogis for temporary overlordship, are also under his control. But he is naturally full with all such powers without any effort, and therefore he is the Supreme Lord. The living being, by severe penance and performing of bodily exercises, can temporarily attain some wonderful power, but that does not make him the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord, by his own potency, is unlimitedly more powerful than any yogi. He is unlimitedly more learned than any jnani. He is unlimitedly richer than any wealthy person. He is unlimitedly more beautiful than any beautiful living being. And he is unlimitedly more charitable than any philanthropist. He is above all. No one is equal to or greater than him. No one, nor can anyone reach his level of perfection in any of the above powers by any amount of penance or yogic demonstrations. The yogis are dependent on his mercy. Out of his immensely charitable disposition, he can award some temporary power to the yogis, because of the yogis hankering after them. But to his unalloyed devotees who do not want anything from the Lord save and accept his transcendental service, the Lord is so pleased that he give himself in exchange for unalloyed service. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So this one also we have covered in the last session. So the Lord gives his devotional service for the one who has dedicated himself completely. But Lord does not give devotional service that much easily to anyone else. So that's why one has to take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, so that once again it is, so now we are in the Vaikuntha. So, and then further we are going to see, so Brahma is seeing all the Lord's opulences and the beauty of it, how in a complete perfectional stage. And now what Brahma has done. तद्दर्शन आह्लाद परिप्लुत अंतरो सृष्टतनुः प्रेम भराश्रुलोचनहं न नाम पादाम्बुजम् अस्य विश्वसुर यत्पारमहंसेन पदाधिगम्यते तद्दर्शन आह्लाद परिप्लुत antaro. By that audience of the Lord, and taddarshana ahlada, and that is very joyful mood. Paripluta antaro, and he has overwhelmed, Brahma has overwhelmed within the heart. Paripluta antaro, krushyatanuhu prema bharashalochanaha. And in a full ecstasy, all krushyatanuhu, his body is in the full ecstasy. Prema bhara ashrulochanaha, in the full transcendental love. Ashrulochanaha, keeping tears in the eyes. Ashrulochanaha. And now Brahma was only one person, he was sitting on the lotus. After so long of his penances, now he is able to see the Lord. There is no one to share his pains and pleasures. So as soon as he sees his father, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, now he is keeping tears in his eyes. So this is my fortunate. Likewise, he is Ashrubhara, Prema Bhara Ashrulochanaha, with so much of love, keeping tears in his eyes. And so much of love. Taddarshana Taddarshanāhlāda pariplut antaru hrushyattanuhu prema bharashurlocanaha. And what he did? Nanama, and he has bowed down. Padam vujim asya viswasurug. And he has bowed down in before the Lord, under the lotus feet. Nanama padam vujim asya viswasurug. The creator of the universe, the Brahma, he has just fallen down, just dandat pranam, like that. Yat paramhamshena padadigamyate. And that is the destination and the path followed by the Paramahamsas. Paramahamshena pada adigamyate. That is how what Paramahamsas would react as soon as they see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nanama padambujim asya viswasurug. Yat paramhamshena padadigamyate. Very beautifully, that is the mood. Everyone, as soon as one sees the Lord, immediately fall down as a complete dandavat. Generally, we say dandavat pranam Prabhuji, dandavat pranam Mataji, but here Brahma is doing dandavat pranams to the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly. So this is, and the Lord is not different from the deity in the temple, and also from his names and forms and qualities and everything. So as soon as we go into the temple, we also offer dandavat pranam. So Brahma is our model. So he has been showing this one. Yadyadacharati sreshtaha. So we are all following. Tattad devetaro naraha. So we are all following Brahma's path. So here, taddarshanāhlāda pariplutāntaro krushyatanuhu prema bharāshrulocanaha nanāma padam vujam asya visvasrug yat paramhamshena padadigamyate. So just with keeping tears in the eyes and so much of love and affection and joyfulness, just falling down on the floor in front of the lotus feet of the Lord. That is once, then only perfection of human life comes into the picture. Otherwise, even if you go there, if there are no tears are coming from, it is called tadasmasaram pradimbatedim yadgrihamanai harinamadeyahi. That is called tad asmasaram. It is a molten iron. So it is mentioned. So let us see the translation. Can I request the devotees to read the translation? And also it's a very big purport, it seems. Yeah, can I request 3 devotees for the purport? So 1 devotee is the translation and first paragraph of the purport.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, may I read?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Lord Brahma, thus seeing the personality of Godhead in his fullness, was overwhelmed with joy. And within, Prabhu, can you just minimize the screen? I can't see the whole thing. Yes. And within his heart, and thus in full transcendental love and ecstasy, his eyes filled with tears of love. He thus bowed down before the Lord. That is the way of the highest perfection for the living being, Paramhamsa. In the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that this great literature is meant for the Paramhamsas. Paramo Nirmat Saranam Sattam. That is, the Srimad Bhagavatam is meant for the persons completely free from malice. In the conditioned life, the malicious life begins from the top, namely bearing malice against the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The personality of Godhead is an established fact in all the revealed scriptures, and in the Bhagavad Gita, the personal features of the Supreme Lord is specially mentioned, so much so that the last portion of the great literature has emphatically stressed that one should surrender unto the personality of Godhead to be saved from the miseries of life. Unfortunately, persons with impious backgrounds do not believe in the personality of Godhead, and everyone wants to become God himself without any qualification. This malicious nature in the conditioned soul continues even up to the stage when person wants to be one with the Lord. And thus, even the greatest of empiric philosophers speculating on becoming one with the Supreme Lord cannot become a Paramhamsa because the malicious mind is there. Therefore, the Paramhamsa stage of life can be attained only by those who are fixed in the practice of Bhakti Yoga. This Bhakti Yoga begins if a person has a firm conviction that simply discharging devotional service to the Lord in full transcendental love can elevate him to the highest perfectional stage of life. Brahmaji believed in the art of Bhakti Yoga. He believed in the instructions of the Lord to execute tapa, and he discharged the function with great penance and thus achieved the great success of seeing the Vaikuntha Lokas and the Lord also by personal experience. No one can reach the abode of the Supreme Lord by any mechanical means of the mind or machine, but one can reach the abode of the Vaikunthas simply by following the process of Bhakti Yoga, because the Lord can be realized only through the Bhakti Yoga process. Lord Brahmaji was actually sitting on his lotus seat, and from there, by executing the process of Bhakti Yoga in great seriousness, he could see the Vaikuntha Lokas with all variegatedness, as well as the Lord in person and his associates. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. So in this first paragraph and the translation, so here Brahma is being completely absorbed in the complete devotional service and in the transcendental love and ecstasy. So how can he get transcendental love and ecstasy? Is when he understands the truth and understands the relation between the Lord and himself, and also Lord's opulences, then only he can be joyful and ecstasy. And when he knows the relation, then there is a love. And he's because of all his austerities and penances and tapasya, and he has attained that love, and Lord has mercifully he has given his love to Brahma. So here in this one, in the conditioned life, the malicious life begins from the top, namely bearing malice against the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it is, so Srimad Bhagavatam is meant for Paramahamsas. We have seen this one. And the personality of Godhead is established, in fact, in all the revealed scriptures. Everywhere, Lord's opulence has properly and 100% described, but people are not taking it into it. So that's why they cannot understand it, because of the different tastes they have got. As soon as they see some kind of with their eyes and hear something else, kukataha matignihi. So Lord Brahma says to his children, all the demigods, yenya vishya kukataha matignihi. Yenna vrajintagivido rachinanavadat shrunvanti yenya vishyaha kukata matignihi. Yastu sutah, he says, Tantan Chipanti Asraneshu Tamasuhanta. Because they hear this Kukata and they use their eyes to see this material world with their naked eyes without the knowledge of the scriptural injunctions, then they fall as a prey to the Kali influence. And they must hear these Vaikuntha descriptions. If they don't hear Vaikuntha descriptions, they will hear some Gramya Katha. So likewise, Brahma says, it would kill the intelligence. It will kill the intelligence. And here, through the revealed, we need to see the Lord, the personality of Godhead is an established fact in all the revealed scriptures. And in the Bhagavad Gita, the personal feature of the Supreme Lord is especially mentioned. So much so that the last portion of the great literature has emphatically stressed that one should surrender unto personality of Godhead from the miseries of life. So that is beautifully said. And that is, Prabhupada mentions, and Krishna also stresses that this two-handed form with Murali in his hand, Tribhanga Lalita form, that is the one has to concentrate. And also, people attracted towards the Krishna's Vaikuntha qualities, they have to meditate on the four-handed form, and that is also described in the scriptures. From the Krishna's devotees' perspective, it is the Tribhanga Lalita form. So as soon as we meditate on the Lord, and all these bad qualities will be completely eradicated out. So and also Prabhupada mentions here, there are greatest empiric philosophers speculating on becoming one with the Supreme Lord cannot become Paramhamsa because the malicious mind is there, because becoming one with the Lord. So here in the Bhagavatam, everywhere it is mentioned, Nirvanam, it means being in equal in quality, but still that position is maintained, Anu and Vibhu. That is always there, but only quality can be achieved, the same as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So therefore, Paramahamsa stage of life can be attained only by those who are fixed in the practice of Bhakti Yoga. Fixed in the practice of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga begins if a person has the firm conviction that simply discharging devotional service to the Lord in full transcendental love can elevate him to the highest perfectional stage of life. So this one, when we are taking Bhakti Yoga, begins if a person has firm conviction. That how one can have a firm conviction. So it is a practical experience. I have got my body, I have got mind, intelligence, and this thing. I have got my father and mother. They have got their father and mother. It is the natural. And if we hear from the authorized source, like that, through sound vibrations, here spiritual master is the our spiritual father, and all the literature is the mother to us. When we take the shelter of that, then we understand who is beyond this material universe and all this creation. So likewise, when Kumaras, after now Brahma is seeing the Vaikuntha and Lord opulences and everything. Later on, he explains this to Kumaras, his four Kumaras. Kumaras, they also take those instructions, and later on, until that point, they were engaging themselves in the impersonal conception, impersonal feature of the Lord, that is Brahman. And then because Brahma has told them, and then later on, in the later days, they went to see Vaikuntha just because their father has said. And then as soon as they went and see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and there was some conflicts in the beginning, past times, and then they become more overwhelmed with the joy to see the Lord, and they have offered their obeisances at the lotus feet of the Lord, and then they glorify the Lord. So they're saying that Yontarhito hidi gatopi duratmanam tvam. He said, Pitran varnitaraha bhavad udbhavena. Just because whatever my father has explained to us, you have appeared here in front of us just like that. We are seeing you just like that. Pumsam gatim mrugatayamiha yogamargaihi dhyanaspadaam bahumatam nainaviramam Pomsnam vupudarshayanam ananyasiddhaihi outpattikaihi samagrunan yutamasta bhogaihi. And now we see you with all of your opulences. Pumsam gatim mrugatayamiha yogamargaihi. They meditate to see you like that. Dhyanaspadam Bahumatam Naina Viramam. Different people experience in different way. Dhyanaspadam Bahumatam Naina Viramam. You're so wonderful. Your form is Dashni Tamam Shantam Manonayana Vardhanam. That is the Apicha Darshanam Shashvat Sarvaloka Namaskritam Santam Vaisikaishore Bhruchanugrahakataram. See, Lord is so merciful towards all the living entities. He wanted to render some kind of good to us, but are we ready to receive that mercy? That is up to our thing. So likewise, Lord is in his abode with all his opulences. That is Paumsnam Vopud Darshayanam Ananyasiddhaihi. That to see the Lord's body, Paumsnam Vopuhu, the body, Vopud Darshanam Ananyasiddhaihi. And the Lord's body is Ananisiddhaihi, Outpattikaihi Samagruna Yutamasta Bhogaihi, with all his opulences. That is the realization of the Kumaras, because they have heard from their father, Brahma. And then that is coming from Guru Parampara kind of thing. Here Brahma is seeing with his meditation, engaging himself in the Bhakti Yoga, and then he has seen the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So likewise, we are coming down from Brahma and then to the Narada Muni and the Vyasadeva. We have been hearing in the same Guru Parampara and also trying to follow that. So that means we are in the right way. We simply need to execute properly. So that is the highest perfectional stage of life. So Brahmaji believed in this art of Bhakti Yoga. He believed in the instruction of the Lord to execute tapa, and he discharged the function with great penance and thus achieved the great success of seeing the Vaikuntha Lokas. And Lord also by personal experience. This is by personal experience. So because initially everyone should have some kind of faith, then only he can make steps. Otherwise, he cannot experience any this blissfulness of this Bhakti Yoga. No one can reach the abode of the Supreme Lord by mechanical means of this. Wow, this is also mentioned in the Shri Brahma Samhita. And also here, simply by following the process of Bhakti Yoga, because the Lord can be realized only through the Bhakti Yoga process. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavana shashmi tatpataha. So that is only devotees can understand me. Tatpataha, by scientific knowledge. So just by sitting in his place itself, he is seeing all these things, the Vaikuntha planets and everything. When it is also possible for us sitting in our own homes in front of the deity, sitting in the same posture and do the tapasya, and then engage oneself in the devotional service, engage all the senses in in glorifying the Lord. Somewhere or other, when we work for the Lord, we would also experience it. And here he could see Vaikuntha Lokas with all variegatedness. That is Brahma Vaivatta. What is Vaivatta means? Variegatedness. Brahma Vaivatta Purana, it explains how Brahma has expanded in different ways. From the spiritual planet down to all the material cosmic manifestations, everything that is variegatedness. It is coming. We could see so many of all pastimes. The source we could see in the Brahma Vaivatta Purana. Why it would have, and why the living entities might have fallen down. It is not described by each and every living entity, but we could see the major portions. Okay, so that is variegatedness as well as the Lord in person and his associates. Okay, can I request other devotee to read next paragraph?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Can I just ask a question? I'll read the next one, please.
Yes,
about the 4 Kumaras, you mentioned about they were practicing a level of Brahmanical level. Isn't that the highest level? Isn't that what we were meant to be doing, to reach Brahmanical level?
So, so here the 4 Kumaras, they were doing meditation on the impersonal Brahman. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti Sabjate. So as soon as the Kumaras, they see at the lotus feet of the Lord, Tasyara Vinda Nainasya. So as soon as they see the lotus feet of the Lord, Kinjalka Mishra Tulasi Makarandavayuhu, and the Lord's lotus feet, it is tinged with all these Tulasi flowers, Tulasi leaves and everything, and the smell is coming. Antargataha Swavivarena. Antargataha Swavivarena. So in their heart, they have been realizing that. So it is very beautifully explained. And then Sankshobham Akchajushamapi Chittatanvoho, and Akchajusham. So as soon as Antargataha Swavivarena Chakara Tesham. Chakara is the this Brahman. And what happens to that conception? So far they have got only Brahman experience, not the Paramatma feature or the personality of Godhead experience. Now, as soon as they see the Lord, what happens to this Brahmanical experience? Antargata, this is Sankshobham Akchar Yushamapi Chittatanvoho. Sankshobham. It is not anymore. Brahman, impersonal Brahman is not anymore. So for that conception, it was there is no strength anymore. Akshara Jusham. Akshar Jusham. Akshara is the impersonal Brahman. That is the. It is very beautifully explained by Srila Prabhupada. As soon as they see the Lord, that Brahman conception will be at the first level. Second is the Paramatma feature. Third level is the personality of Godhead. As soon as they see it, now there is no more a impersonal conception. So until that point, before Lord, they see the Lord, they were in the Brahman stage, just Brahma Bhota stage. They are just meditating on the impersonal feature of the Lord.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay.
My
Yes.
question.
Please.
Following in the footsteps of Lord Brahma, any person, even up to this day, can attain the same perfection by following the path of the Parahamsa as recommended within herein. Lord Chaitanya also approved of this method of self-realization for men in this age. One should first, with all conviction, believe in the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, and without making any efforts to realize him by speculative philosophy, one should prefer to hear about him from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita and later from the text of the Srimad Bhagavatam. One should hear such discourses from a person, Bhagavatam, and not from the professional man or from the karmi, jnani, or yogi. This is the secret of learning the science. One does not need to be in the renounced order of life. He can remain in his present condition of life, but he must search out the association of a bona fide devotee of the Lord and hear from him the transcendental message of the Lord with faith and conviction. That is the path of the Parahamsa, recommended within herein. Amongst various holy names of the Lord, he is also called Ajita, or one who can never be conquered by anyone else. Yet he can be conquered by the Parahamsa path, as practically realized and shown by the great spiritual master, Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma has personally recommended this Parahamsa Patha in his own words as follows.
Thank you, Mataji. So here, this is once again, one has to hear from the devotees and the Guru Parampara, not from the philosophers. And one should first, with all conviction, believe in the personality of Godhead Shri Krishna, and without making efforts to realize him by speculative philosophy. So this is, many people nowadays, people fall prey to this material education, and they don't believe anything until they see something with their eyes, but which is imperfect. They cannot see the Lord with their naked eyes. They have to approach the scriptures. That is one big failure to this modern education. So one has to hear, Prabhupada says, hear about him from the Srimad Bhagavad Gita and later from the Srimad Bhagavatam, from the authorized sources, not from karmi, jnani, or yogi. So that is the secret of learning of the science. And within the family life itself, one can attain the perfection. He doesn't have to go out and renounce this family life and understand everything. So, but with complete detachment in the heart. But complete detachment in the heart. And heart must be only towards only Krishna, Radha Krishna, and in their devotional service. even though he is in the present life, he can attain the perfection of life. So, but one has to identify and the bona fide devotee of the Lord and hear from him transcendental message of the Lord with faith and conviction. That is the path of Paramahamsas recommended.
Shall I carry on, Prabhu?
And the Lord is also Ajita. He is not conquerable by anyone but a devotee who is so humble and meek and who dedicated himself. Only he can Advaitam Achyutam Anadim Anantarupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayabhanam Cham Vedeshu Durlabham Adurlabham Atma Bhakto Vedeshu Durlabham. So Veda, he cannot be available just by the Vedas, but he is very easily available by Atma Bhakto. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So that is the whenever it is Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena. When we have tinged the love of Godhead to our eyes, then only we can see the Lord. He is Ajita, or one who can never be conquered by, but he can be conquered by the Paramahamsa path. Now Brahma has seen the Lord. So that is Prabhupada is mentioning here. And also Brahma is personally recommended this Paramahamsa Pantaha in his own words. Yes, Mataji, you wanted to say something?
Shall I? Jnani prayasam udapasya namantaiva jivati sanmukharitam bhavadiya vartam stani stitaha srutigatam tanuvan manobhir ye prayaso jita jito piyasi sitatais trilokyam. Lord Brahma said, "O my Lord Krishna, a devotee who abandons the path of empiric and philosophical speculation aimed at merging in the existence of the Supreme and engages him in hearing your glories and activities from a bona fide sadhu or saint, and who lives an honest life in the occupational engagement of his social life, can conquer your sympathy and mercy even though you are Ajita or unconquerable." Bhagavad Gita 10:14-3. That is the path. Oh, sorry, is that Bhagavatam, yeah?
And this is Bhagavatam, yes, madam.
Bhagavatam 10:14-3. This is the path of the Parahamsas, which was personally followed by Lord Brahma and later recommended by him for attaining perfect success in life. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So here Prabhupada is Jnane Prayasam Udapasya Namanta Eva. Mataji, would you like to explain this one? So hope you are having good experience with this one.
No, I don't. What do you mean, the Sanskrit?
And also the
No, I don't. If I had the breaking down, I would.
So this
It's no synonyms. Was there synonyms? Excellent. Okay, Jnani for knowledge. Okay, what is passage? Jnani prasayam udapasya namantaeva. Jnani prasayam. If one with their intelligence show eagerness to enter into the scriptures, giving up all upasya, giving up all ties in the material sense, offering namataha, offering full sincere respect simply by jivanti, by performing his existence, Satmukaritam, chant the holy name with pureness in his service, which is connected and directed to the Supreme, which is Bhavadiya Vartam, thinking of all that is related to Krishna in their living existence, which is topics related to you. Stani in their material position. This is where we are situated in this world, and stitaha, you can remain in his company through hearing and through hearing his Shruti Gatam, he received by hearing. Shruti Gatam, his scriptures, fully surrendering with your whole self, Vat meaning, and giving your pure words of obeisances and service, or prayers maybe, Manubhi, and fully engaging your mind, you can actually whoever well, it doesn't have to be just you, anybody who performs it for his most of his service, not because you can still carry on with your material existence, which is if you have commitment with relationship and family, you can actually address the Lord in you can actually win over the Lord and you become free within within the three worlds, trilokium. Can reach a position within the three worlds. I'm not sure about that, Prabhu. That's all I can make out of it.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Was that useful? I'm sorry.
Yes, so beautifully explained, Mataji. So here, Jnane Prayasam Udapasya Namanta Eva, just leaving all kinds of trying to get the knowledge. Namanta Eva, just by offering obeisances. Jivante Shanmukaritam Bhavadiya Vartam. Jivan, they live just only by hearing. Shanmukaritam, hearing from the pure devotees. Bhavadiya Vartam, about yourself. Bhavadiya Vartam. Sthane Sitaha Sudikatam Tanuvan Manobihi. And just sitting in their own places, in the same home, in the same living room, or wherever they are sitting in the kitchen, or doing activities in the cooking or making the children, just Bastani Sitaha Srutikatam, and what they are doing, received by hearing. And how? Tano Mano, Tano Vak Manobihi, by their body, by their words, by their mind. So by these three parts, so one keep hearing and they're living in their life in such a way. Sthani staha sutigatam tanuvan manobihi ye prayesho ajita jitopyasi trailokyam. And so they, so in such a way, even though you are unconquerable, you would be conquered by such kind of devotees. You will be conquered by such kind of devotees who have dedicated completely their lives to you. Those who, even while remaining situated in their established social positions, throw away the process of speculative knowledge and with their body, words, and mind offer all respects to the descriptions of your personality and activities, dedicating their lives to these narrations, which are vibrated by you personally and by your pure devotees, certainly conquer your lordship, although you are otherwise unconquerable by anyone within the three worlds. So beautifully explained here. Prabhupada brings this one into this context here. Now Brahma is saying here, so with his personal experience. So that is the ज्ञाने प्रयासमुदपास्य नमन्त एव जीवन्ति सन्मुखरितां भवदीयवार्तां स्थानिष्ठाः स्थिगतां तनुवान् मनोभिः ये प्रयासो अजितो जितोऽप्यसि तैः त्रैलोक्याम्. Very perfectly explained by Srila Prabhupada here. So that is what Brahma is saying here. And then he is offering his obeisances to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is तद्दर्शनाह्लाद परिप्लुतान्तरो हृष्यतनुः प्रेम भरा अश्रुलोचनः ननाम पादं भुजम् अस्य विश्वसुरं यत् पारमहंसेन पदादिगम्यते. And with so much of love, keeping tears in his eyes, he did Dandavat Pranam to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the realization. Similarly, even Kaddama Prajapati, as soon as he also sees that when the Lord has appeared on his Chaturbuja form, sitting on Garuda, keeping his thighs, his legs on the both sides of the Garuda, and still he is standing in the sky. And then as soon as Kaddama Prajapati sees, he also fell down. He also fell just like a rod, and then he started keeping tears in his eyes, and he started glorifying the Lord later on. So it is, we see similar kind, and also we see so many devotees day-to-day basis. All the devotees, as soon as they enter into the temple, first of all they do Dandavat Pranam and then offer their obeisances, and then they do hear Katha and then engage himself in the Kirtan, Bhajan, and everything else. That is the Paramhamsena Padadigamyate, that is the Paramhamsa stage. As soon as we enter the temple, offer the obeisances. It's the Brahma is our predecessor for it. Okay, so now we are already 15 minutes past 7 o'clock. I stop here, and dear devotees, so kindly share your realizations or question or give any feedback, or you wanted to say something, anything.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. You said about as soon as you enter the temple, you pay your obeisances. I notice people when they enter, they don't ring the bell when they enter sometimes, but when they go out, they ring the bell. You shouldn't be ringing the bell when you go out, should you? It's not respectful. When you enter Krishna's house, you would ring the bell before you enter, wouldn't you? Then you pay your obeisances. I'm just asking if that's the correct way, because I've seen a lot of people ringing the bell as they leave.
Yes, Mataji. So if we see in the big temples, like the temples are maintained as per the Agama Shastra. In the South India, all the big temples, before entering into the temple, going in front of the deity, so there is once again the bell is there. They do it, and then after coming out of it, there is also the bell is there. So the big bells, they're the gigantic bells. So they are there. But I do not know which is right or which is not right, but both are auspicious.
Oh, well, I just thought it wasn't very respectful to ring the bell after. It's quite disruptive as well when somebody's preaching. And people don't ring it nice and gentle.
Yeah, but in the preaching time, it's a different context. When we are preaching, there is important classes going on.
Yeah.
And making sounds, it may be different.
Okay, so it's okay if they bring it as they leave. That's fine. I was a bit, I observe it and I think, oh, is it correct or not?
Yeah, both ways it is auspicious.
It's okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, may I just add something here on Mataji's question?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Yeah, so, when the children, they have this Krishna class and all the children used to gather in the temple. From this year, there are so many children that we cannot accommodate them in the main altar room. It's done in one of the halls, like, the Seva halls there, Haveli. So when earlier it was last July, it was in the temple, and some of the children or their parents, they used to, come pay their obeisances, and when leaving, they used to ring the bell, Yogi Prabhu, like he is the head of the Krishna class, so he said not to do that. I'm explaining the children that very naturally that when you enter somebody's house, we normally knock or ring the bell as a natural tendency and not do otherwise. So he asked them, requested them, like when you enter, if you remember to ring the bell, that should be the normal thing to do, right way to do. But if you forget, then don't ring the bell while you're leaving. And he has stressed on this point time and again, and he gets really angry on the children if he sees them doing while they're leaving. So what Mataji was asking with respect to the ISKCON temple, I think I don't know about the Shastras, Prabhu, here. So what I've heard from temple devotees, so I'm just narrating the same thing. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So, yeah, that could be the process maybe in the ISKCON temples.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to see from the Shastra perspective as well. So, if I come across, then I will share it later on.
Yes, please. That'd be nice. Yeah.
And also when we are, as soon as we take the darshan and then come out from the deity, and then there we would see this hundi where all the offerings are given, or money offerings, different kinds of offerings. There the bell is also hanging there. So devotees, once they put the offering and then they do ring the bell. So such kind of pattern is there in the temples built in the Agama Shastra. Okay, so I shall share when I come across that Shastric injunctions. Any other questions or any points you wanted to add about Vaikuntha and how Brahma's his response after seeing the Lord's offerings?
In this reading today, Prabhu, Brahma is put in the highest position of the demigods. So how come Lord Shiva is placed in topmost position?
So, where Mataji, you mentioned. So in today's reading, you meant?
Yes. He is in an elevated position in most of these passages of Lord Brahma.
Yes. So even though Lord Shankara, actually this Brahma, Shiva, and Narayana, they're all in the spiritual abode. So they are the creations of Krishna in the Brahma Vaivarta Purana. If we see the Srishti Kanda, it is so beautiful how Krishna expands himself as a Narayana, Lord Shankara, and Brahma. And later on, when for the material creation, they give their potencies for the Brahma here, and then Krishna, he would expand further as a Vishnu's for the maintenance. And then Lord Shankara, he expands himself as a here within this material world as a Shiva. And also Brahma is a living entity like us. But here, though Shiva has come from eyebrows of the Brahma, and he was, as soon as Brahma asked him, just create the expand the progeny, he was doing all these such like ghosts, bhutas, pretas, pisachas, and then such kind of living entities Lord Shankara was expanding. And then Brahma says, okay, my dear child, you stop. You don't have to do anything. You just engage yourself in the penances, austerities and penances. And then Lord Shankara went, and then he has given 10 places to live in, and also 10 wives. That is the expansions of Durga Mata, those names, and also all auspicious places. That is where Lord Shankara, when even though he is there, he has conquered the mrityu. He has conquered the Mrityu Kanya. But Lord Brahma, he did not. So his lifespan is about is just only 311 trillion years in a fraction of a second of the Narayana and also Lord Shankara and also Mula Prakriti. So it is compared like that in the Brahma Vaivarta Purana. In a minute, in the nimesha of their time, Brahma's lifespan will be completely finished. And then likewise, their 100 years, that is the Krishna's taking a nap. So likewise, it is mentioned in the Brahma Vaivarta Purana. It is so beautifully explained. And also, as it is Kartik month also starts, we have done glorifications of Radharani as well in those Brahma Vaivarta Purana. It may be good, dear devotees, if you hear once again those Radharani, glorification of Radharani, and Krishna glorifies Radharani, those things that must be heard on the Kartik Purnami day. Okay, so that is, and also Lord Shankara, sorry Mataji, so just going in a different way. Lord Shankara, he is called Mahadeva. And his position is he is the one destroyer, and he is also lord of this deity for the Tamoguna. And why he is placed means he is Krishna, like a milk taken the transformation of the yogurt for the maintenance of this material world. He is also Krishna, but not Krishna directly.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, can I add something what you are saying?
Yes,
Mother.
Mataji.
So, Mataji, the thing is like when we why we study Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam is like in the scriptures, in the Vedas, the knowledge, the Vedas, they give the philosophical knowledge, the points, like the things, what is what, like that the Vedas give the clarities. And to understand for the normal beings, the examples of the devotees, like how they implemented these knowledge to their life, that is also needed. So the Vedas, in the Bhagavad Gita, we study Vedas so that we get the philosophical knowledge, and we need the examples, we need the history, so that we can know how to implement that knowledge practically. So for that we have Puranas and Idihasas. So Idihasas is like they that will be based on one person or one family, like Ramayana, the entire story was based on Rama. And the Mahabharata, it is entirely depend upon the story of a family, the Kaurava and Pandava family. But in case of Puranas, Srimad Bhagavatam, that is not debate like that. There will be lot of personality in each perspective. The hero will be different. So when we explain this context, we explain in a way that Brahma is the supreme personality. Supreme Brahma as a great devotee. So when we explain the Prahlad Maharaj story, there we will see that Prahlad as the greatest devotee. So it will be like there is no chronological order. So in each section, the heroes will be changed. The story will be based on that particular. So it is like to give us more and more example to follow, like to understand like what is best, what the Brahma was doing, what Prahlad Maharaj was doing, what Lord Shiva was doing, what Indra was doing. So like that, to give more and more examples, Puranas, Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam is explained in that way. So when we read this part here, Brahma is glorified in these ways too, as an example. So it will be changed according to context. So when we explain 12 Mahajanas, it is in the entire context. So in that stage, when we number them, it will be like first Lord Shiva, Brahma, Narada, like that it will come. So it is like when we read someone's story, that person will be the hero. So like that, here Brahma is explained as topmost system. So when we read other part, that will be explained in another way. So that is why it is like that, Mataji. That is what my understanding.
Oh, Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for explaining that about the chronological. I was going by the chronological order, sorry. Yes, that makes sense. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Mataji. That's
Hare
not
Krishna.
the Bhagavatam. That is for Itihasas like Ramayana and Mahabharata. In Bhagavatam stories, not in chronological order. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you so much. That makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, this is where Lord Shankara, this is Shambhu, and here this is Sadasiva Loka, and then Shambhu, he will be in this material world, and then with their potencies, they'll enter here. So we see here Karnadaksai Vishnu, Kshiradaksai Vishnu, and Garbhodakasai Vishnu. Outside is Karnadaksai Vishnu. Likewise, Sadashiva is here, and also he would also enter as a Shambhu here into this material world. And Brahma is here, and also Brahma is also in the spiritual world, and who give his potency to the Brahma in the material world. That Brahma here, it is not shown here. Yeah, so that is once again, they are the expansions of Krishna. If we see in the Brahma Vaivata Purana, there are how this Brahma, Krishna, expanded himself in the different ways, different Narayana forms, and he expands himself into Radharani, how Radharani expands further into so many gopis, and then how Lakshmi Devi, Durga Devi, and how they appear. So if we just see that Brahma Vaivata Purana, it immediately gives direct perception of it for the quicker understanding. But when we comes to the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is gradually, slowly. This is Paramahamsa stage, and every moment we relish the Lord's greatness and pastime. That way, it will take us in the Paramahamsa stage. Okay, so that is Lord Shankara. Okay, any other questions?
Thank you, Prabhuji. That's really very helpful. Is there, oh, sorry, can I just ask a quick question? Is there a link that we could have to read the glories of Radharani? I mean, how do you get these literature?
So this literature, okay. I don't know that question yet, but it was in a different language, Telugu language, where I got that Brahma Purana glories of Radharani. But in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Goswamis have explained, and there are so many other literatures written by Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami, pastimes of Radharani. But from the Puranic perspective, Brahma Vaivata Purana, it gives more glories of Radharani and the Goloka Vrindavana. Many pastimes have been mentioned there. So that pastimes, we have seen glories of Radharani in one of the Brahma Vaivata Purana in our sessions. I'm not sure if you were there in that. It is in our YouTube, Mataji. How Krishna glorifies Radharani.
Yeah. All right. What Purana was you say, Vaish?
Brahma Vaivata Purana. Vaivata is variegatedness.
Vaivata.
Yeah, how Brahma, the Krishna, he is Supreme Brahman, he expanded into different variegatedness for his pastimes in the spiritual and also material world.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Raji, any other questions, dear devotees? Radha Sevka Mataji, you were trying to say.
I was just going to say, Mataji, you can also read Garga Samhita. There's like pastimes in there of Srimati Radharani and Krishna.
Yuga Samhita. Okay.
Garga Samhita, yeah, that's got like quite nice pastimes, and I think that's nice. And then I think if you pray to Radharani, she reveals herself to you.
Thank you.
Just pray, like
I'll come and touch you, and I'll get some of that.
just, like, you know, like sometimes
when I see you on a Sunday, yeah.
to just pray, just
Yeah. I look for you Sunday, you weren't there. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to be there this weekend, Mataji, so I'll hopefully
Okay,
see you.
Haribo.
Haribo.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So that can be only by the servant of Radharani, the Sevikas of Radharani. So Radha Sevika Mataji only can answer.
I thought, Prabhu, you got magic wand when you do your quotes. I thought you have got all these, you got a link where you go and, or a method that you could receive a quote on any subject. Can you do that? I mean, is it possible? Because sometimes it's hard to find, and quotes are necessary. You can't just talk blindly, can you?
That one, no, Mataji, but actually once when we understand different shlokas and the subject matters and Prabhupada's purports, Prabhupada, because he had once, unless we study complete Srimad Bhagavatam and remember those things, and particular to one shloka, we may just bring some other context to make that context fulfilled.
Yeah, you said it is all to do with retention, isn't it?
Yeah, but
Remembering, yeah.
It gradually comes when we are keep trying to remember the shlokas and the reading purports. They swadhyaya purusharchanam, that is self-study of the scriptures. Then only we can remember. If we do it only one day and then not doing other days, then it
You
may not
forget,
be.
yeah.
Yeah, they cannot stand because our eyes are engaged in the material activities, ears are engaged in different.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
stop the material things. Kukata matignihi, then we cannot retain this knowledge in the heart.
So that's why you have to surrender altogether.
Tanovan manobihi. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. If you're all happy, then we shall conclude our session for today and continue with further japa.
Thank you, Prabhu, for this wonderful session, like in explaining these scriptures and introducing in the Saturday Sanghas. It's so beneficial, and when we listen to it again and again, it starts sinking into our heart. So thank you for taking this endeavor. Let's all say 3 loud Haribols to Prabhu. Haribol.
Haribo. Haribo.
Haribol.
Thank you,
Haribol,
Prabhuji.
Haribol.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Mataji. It is a devotees association. We can relish these pastimes of Krishna only. All glory to Srila Prabhupada giving such an opportunity for all of us.
But Prabhu is never too much. You're never in a hurry. You just give us undivided attention, which is hard to get. Thank you. You take your time to explain, and you're so patient. You never you give undivided attention, as I say, which is very, very rare. Thank you.
It is your interest to enthusiastically learn. That is the only thing. That is other thing. It is just a cause.
Well, when you relate it, you put joy in it, and so your joy gets rubbed off on us, which is nice. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So thank you so much, Mataji. So we shall continue this path. So and also there is how to meditate on the Lord's bodily feature, every part, the lotus feet, his legs, his thighs, his waist, his navel, his chest, and the necklaces on his neck, and then how his shoulders and his hands, and then his helmet, his eyes, his smile, his nose, his earrings, very beautifully there. So I think we may take those kind of thing as well in the coming Saturdays. Not immediately, but this Vaikuntha descriptions, and then after that, third canto also, Srimad Bhagavatam third canto also gives further glorifications of the Vaikuntha Loka with the eyes of Kumaras. Now we are seeing Vaikuntha with the eyes of Brahma. Now at that time, Kumaras are also, we go with Kumaras and see how the Vaikuntha is there at that time with their eyes.
Very nice. Hare Krishna.
And then after that, we go into Goloka with Brahma, the Brahma Samhita. And then, so for then that is 50 crores of yojanas higher than the Vaikuntha. That is where Krishna with Radharani and all the opulences. And also here Goloka is surrounded by different kinds of jewels. Okay, that also we also cover in the Shri Brahma Samhita. Thank you so much, Mataji. And if you're all happy, we shall conclude and continue with the japa.
Kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhuvemcha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavan ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Haribo.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda